Welcome back to Rev Endurance Sports. I'm George, and this is my lovely Jessica.
Hi.
And Jessica, for her birthday, received a pair of CX403 shoes. And one of the most requested videos on this channel has been, hey, can you do a video of the shoes getting molded? We are going to attempt to do that today.
On my shoes.
On your shoes. And it would be amazing if we had a third person to be the camera person for this, because this is literally a two-person job where one person is wearing the shoes and the other person is molding the shoes. So a little bit of history. Jess has been riding the Specialized S-Works shoes for a few years, and we did a 200-kilometer brevet with 3,300 meters or something. It was 10,800 feet of climbing, and she's like, wow, my feet, for the first time in a long time, or ever, foot pain.
Yeah, that's the first time it happened. I usually don't get foot pain, so I was surprised.
Yeah, so we have a combination of a couple of things. We have environmental conditions. It was over 100 degrees, like 117 in some cycling computers, 110. And we've got the amount of climbing. So almost 11,000 feet of climbing. So that's a lot of pressure on your feet. So when we got these shoes back in August, we did a test ride on them. And can you remember where the aches and pains might have been?
I remember thinking that the front half of the shoe fit like a ballet slipper, like it fit great, but from the ankle back and like the top half it felt like, you know, something is it's pressing in on me in bad ways that's hurting.
Yeah.
And but you said that with a little molding, we should be able to fix that. So, I mean, nothing in life is guaranteed, but
Yeah.
we've been waiting since August till the weather cooled off so we could turn on our oven. And now it's perfect because it's actually kind of chilly in here.
Yeah.
So it's a good day to do molding.
The moldable portion of these shoes, this section right here, Jess, would you agree that that's where a lot of the foot pain is coming from?
I feel like it was like this ridge right here, pretty much the conjunction where the black turns to white, like that.
All right. So what we'll try to do is you can mold the shoes, and we're going to move over to our small convection oven. You can mold the shoes in the heel portion here to get a little bit more of a secure fit. However, in this case, we want to go the opposite direction. We want to expand the shoe a little bit.
Okay.
There's a couple of things that we need to cover before we actually do the molding process. The first thing is, I suggest you get an oven thermometer like this guy here. It's just a freestanding oven thermometer. It's independent of whatever your dial says. We're using a small oven just because it's more efficient to get the temperature to rise and fall quicker. The other thing is when you put your shoes in the oven, they suggest 200 degrees Fahrenheit. I think that's 90 Celsius, something similar to that. And you want to try 4 to 5 minutes is what they suggest, but you want to try it at about 4 minutes to see if it's pliable enough at 4 minutes. If it's not, then try 5 minutes. So I suggest you have a stopwatch with you. A couple of other things. If you have orthotics, they say don't risk getting those damaged. So you take the orthotics out and use the Lake insoles. We have the Specialized insole that she's used to riding. And then you also will close the shoe and secure the dials, the BOA dials, okay? And you want to make sure that when you put the shoe in the oven, it doesn't touch any of the sides. So we're going to do the right foot because for Jess, this on the inside here and the outside here is where it's hurting, and it's much easier for me to pry if I'm using both. So we've got, let's see what we got. Yep, we got 200 degrees, right on the money, 200 degrees. We're going to throw that in there. And there we go. And we're just going to check it at 4 minutes. Now it's important that you have this independent thermostat, oven thermometer, because, for example, this particular oven only has settings for 175 to 100, so it jumps in 25-degree increments. When I had it at 175, well, it was below 200, obviously, but when I set it to 200, it went up to 225. So it's very, very important that you use an oven thermometer so you get an independent temperature measurement aside from what your oven is telling you.
So you have the timer set right now. My shoe's in the oven. What's going to happen when the timer ticks down?
Yeah, so when the timer ticks down another minute and 13 seconds, what I'm going to do is pull the shoe out of the oven and see if it's pliable enough. If it's not, then we're going to put it back in for another minute or so. We have to be able to move it, but you want to do it in stages as opposed to, oh, let's just leave it in there for 5-6 minutes at one time. Yeah, that is our next step in the process.
Okay, how much time?
40 seconds.
Ah, okay.
And because I said earlier that 200 is not actually 200, what I've been doing is opening and closing the oven to get that to work. Okay, here we go. Countdown 0. So it says not to touch it by the toe, right? So you want to grab it by the midfoot. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pry it out a little bit and see if it's moving. And I think I'm going to put it in for a little bit longer because I don't feel it moving. So because that shoe wasn't pliable enough, I put it in for 1 more minute, and then we'll take it out and see, because the lake says between 4 to 5 minutes, so we don't want to go over 5 minutes. All right, that is 1 more minute. So now, yeah, that's a lot better. And when you do enough of these shoes, you get a feel for how much movement you're supposed to get. So don't be afraid to start at lower increments and then work your way back up. So right now I'm just kind of spreading it because in Jessy's situation, we're not actually having to form it around her foot. What we're trying to do is expand it. So we don't actually need to put this shoe on her foot just yet. So what we're doing now is we're just kind of spreading that little pointed part right there. That's what we're trying to spread on both the inside and the outside. Let's get your right foot ready, please, and thank you. Now this step of the process, what we're just trying to do is put the person's foot in there.
Feels good. It's nice
Yeah,
and warm.
it is, isn't it? And now what we want to do is we just want to take the slack out of the laces. It's not supposed to be tight yet. Okay, and we just want to make sure the tongue is in the proper place. Now, what's your first impression? Does it feel better?
It feels so, yeah, it's like a different shoe. I mean, yeah, it's way better. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what we want to do, go ahead and stand up for me just for a second. All right, go ahead and sit down. And what I want to ask you is right here where that pressure point was, do you think I need to expand it more?
No,
Yeah?
I don't think so. Because we can always like do more later, right?
We can go for a ride and then remold, go for a ride, remold. Yeah, we can do it many, many times.
Yeah, it's a very different feeling than before we heated the shoe. So, no, I mean, I'd rather just it feels
Increments?
good. Yeah, let's do increments.
Small increments?
You know, let's keep
Okay.
it here and then we'll go for a ride
Yep.
and reassess.
Reassess. Okay. So
I think
that's
it's
that
really
one.
cool that you can do it as many times as you need to.
No, that is something that a lot of folks are not aware of. And so I have to put them at ease that it's okay if the first mold doesn't work. This is the left shoe. Now on the right shoe it hurt on both sides. Can you remind me where it hurts on the left shoe?
The inside.
The inside part of the left shoe? Okay. So we've got the oven still going at 200 degrees. I've been opening and closing it to adjust for the temperature. So once again, make sure that the boas are closed. Make sure that you do not have your orthotics inside your shoes. And we place the shoe inside and we set the timer because now I know what I need. It's going to be 5 minutes. Time's up. Inside you said?
Yes.
All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna push. Yeah, the lighting is difficult, or the filming is difficult, isn't it? So I'm just gonna push that right there. Does that look like the right place, Jess?
Yes.
Right where my thumb is, pushing, bulging out.
Right there.
Right there. So we're just gonna hold that out just a little bit. And in this case, because we've said before that you can mold the shoes multiple times, it's probably better to go more than you need in the outward direction because molding this way is easier. All right, let's go try these on. All right, princess. Let's try the other shoe now.
Okay.
Go ahead. It's easier for you to do it, actually.
Oh, one would think, but.
There we go. All right, so kick the heel back. There you go. And then we're gonna start to cinch these down.
It feels good. The heat.
Yeah. All right, so all we're doing is just taking the slack out of the laces. Okay, so tell me how that inside part feels now. And if you want, go ahead and stand up and...
So it feels better. It feels like there might be a little. It's really hard to tell. Like I feel a little bit of something. It feels like I'm stepping down on like an almond. It's really hard to describe, but I don't.
So is it the arch that's bugging you now? Or is it the inside of the shoe? Where you...
I don't know. I mean, it feels different, and it's really hard to like quantify. I mean, it feels comfortable where it is. So maybe we should just let them cool off, take them out for a ride, and reassess.
Yeah. All right, what we did off camera is we took Jess down to the bike trainer.
I was having trouble pinpointing exactly where I was feeling discomfort. So yeah, we went down to where our bikes are set up on trainers, and George put me on there for a couple minutes. And so I found out that is my right foot on the outside needs a little more pushing out. So we came up here to the kitchen. George put my right leg shoe back in the oven for a few minutes, and he just took it out now. So, and has reworked some of the molding.
Yeah, so the left shoe we only had to do once. The right shoe we've had to do twice, but that's okay because we can do it multiple times until we get it right. Go ahead and kick your heel back into the shoe. There you go. Thank you. That's good. What do you think? Is that better? Is that the same?
It feels awesome. It's, it's the heat. It's like a spa wrap.
Yep.
So it feels better. It feels resolved.
Yeah.
But I'd like to go back down to the trainer.
Okay.
Since it's,
So let's do that.
set up out of the oven.
Fresh out of the oven. So I'm just trying to push out this inside part. Okay, try that. Okay, kick your heel back. Thank you. Okay, what do you think now?
I'm ready.
Does it feel better?
Yeah, it feels better.
Yeah?
Yeah. So once they're molded, like, do they ever come back unintentionally?
To the original shape?
Yeah. Do they eventually shrink back down and you have to mold them again, or?
I'm not sure, but I would say no.
Yeah, probably not. But if they do, we'll be ready.
We'll just remold them.
With our little oven. On the left shoe, we did inside only.
Okay.
On the right shoe, we did inside, outside. And then we redid the right shoe and we did more on the outside of the right shoe.
Okay.
And a little more on the left side.
Do you want to try the trainer again? Or do you think we're good?
No, I think we're good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, that was the molding process. The process is, I would say, easy but tedious. And the only reason I would call it tedious is because you want to do it in small increments. You don't want to do too much at one time. So I guess that would be the thing. As a consumer, how did you feel about the process?
I felt really lucky that that I had you to do it for me. So yeah, just thanks, George. I'm so grateful that I had you to do the molding, because I just, I got to be honest. Like, for me, I'm so I've been working so much lately. Like, the last thing I want to do during my time when I'm not at work is like spend an hour trying to mold my shoes without really knowing. It probably would have taken me a lot longer because I had to have to troubleshoot and everything from the beginning. So it is a real luxury to have you in my life. So all I
You heard it here.
Yeah, all I have to do is sit here, and this nice warm
Shoe gets brought to you.
And I'm like, oh, it's like a spa treatment.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, that's how I feel as a consumer. Is, it's a little bit of a pain, but you know what is also a pain? poorly fitting bicycle shoes. So,
Yeah.
there you go.
All right. So thank you so much for coming along on this journey with Jess and I. We will now, since we've been downstairs on a trainer, we will now ride them outside and maybe do an post-ride evaluation of the molding process. But for the time being, it seems like we're good to go. Please leave your comments down below if you've had if you've had the Lake shoes custom molded. What were your results? And if you're interested, obviously I am a Lake shoe dealer, so please contact me. My contact information is always in the description. It's revcycling@gmail.com. That's really easy. Please like and subscribe, and we will see you
Up
up the
the road.